Hello. Okay, so we have 1 hour before it's cooking mama time. So let's do this. Um, Always
People
some
want to
music.
know what's the secret to Chess
Oh,
Rockwell's
right.
ability to pick up all these beautiful women. Is it your good looks? Is it that big bulge in your
But
pants?
first,
Could be that fancy car you drive that I lease and change every other year, but you don't need to know that. I say, look, I'm gonna let you in on a little
okay,
secret.
some drink.
My man Nathaniel Merriweather, little
Um,
running buddy from Hampton Boy Mile
oh,
School,
it's still a bit loud.
made this thing called
Maybe 40.
music to make love to your old lady by. Barry White used to work. Shoot, even ABBA used to work the way I was doing my thing. But man, you put this on, the hoes just go wild. I'm telling you, music to make love to your old lady
Nice.
vibe.
Okay, so
You try cognac, even try.
I want to
some
talk
weed.
about the
Shoot,
future
you might
plans
even try
for
ecstasy.
the three
But
apps:
ain't no shit
Scrolla,
ecstasy
Wooshy, and
till you
kind of in.
try.
And
Music to make love to your old lady vibe.
because so I have plans. I mean, there's stuff I want to do with them that is going to take quite some time, like probably a few weeks of like research and try. Like basically the usual things: research, then like a very dirty implementation. Then some weeks of using the new feature myself. It's like this time it's going to be even more than a new feature. Like the UX is going to change, so that's why I need to try it for a few weeks, and then if it gets better, like if it makes the app better, then I will basically erase the code I did, like the dirty code I did to add or make the change, and I rebuild it like properly, clean, and like automatically test it. So this is going to take like a few weeks for each feature, I think. So overall it's going to take quite some time, and before doing this I wanted to finish a few things I had for at least for Wooshy, I think, and KV. And yes, I had like a few things in the pipeline, but I took the chance to close those things, to do them and release them like in the past 2 weeks before digging into the longer stuff. So what I did recently for Wooshy, there were like three things. One that I kind of postponed for a long time because it was very boring to me to do was the yearly plan, and two things that were very interesting but much harder. It took me like months of I need to check. Let's check when was the so it's like the support for two I forgot my glasses, right? Professional recording. So I had like two apps that were really tough to deal with, and the long story. So where is it? Teams. It's not even here. So maybe okay. Oh yes, because I closed it. January 10. So yeah, it's been like 6 months. So took me months of work trying to figure out what was going on, why it didn't work, and it would work. It would I would be able to make it work only when I was activating manually voiceover, which was very strange, because Wooshy is supposed to act the same way as voiceover. And it took me months, and during these months, because it was like winter here where I'm living, so it's cold, so which means I can't think very properly. And usually I travel to hot places, but this year I had some re-education. I smashed my elbow last summer, so I was stuck here. And then it got warmer, but it rained for like 3 months. What the hell? No idea what happened these years. So basically I spent more time learning other things, just like in terms of computers, like pen testing, and languages. I was learning Mandarin and Chinese character, Chinese writing and typing and whatever. And so I couldn't solve this issue. And then the hot season came back like a month ago, and I went back to swim in the sea every day, and like in less than 2 weeks I just solved all the problems I had. So it's quite funny that it happens like every time basically. As soon as I go hiking or swimming for a couple of days during the trip in the mountain or in the sea, my brain comes up with solutions and new ideas to dig into. So anyway, just to say that I had this for like 6 months, and this is now let's see if this is now solved. So I've added this in the one of the last if I can type properly, yes. So now you can access like whatever you want. Again, if you can type properly, and I have the mic in front of my keyboard, that's a little bit uncomfortable. So that was one of the thing, and the other one was Notion, which was also, so now Notion comes with log, like you can grab all the elements if you can type. So I think for both case, I don't remember. For Notion, I had to do some kind of custom engine, and for Teams, yeah, I had to do some tricks or so. But anyway, so like those, there were like 2 things I wanted to do, like those adding those 2 apps before focusing on the new plans that I'm going to come into detail later. I'll add chapters to the YouTube video so that you can skip that blah 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 if you don't want to hear me rambling and drinking. Oh, I'll check. Notions. I'm kind of curious when was he? When it's been asked. Do you see it? Something somewhere? Notions. Huh. I remember no. Oh, did I type options? Seriously? What? Ah, oh, then I can add a. Wait, let me check this. Found a way coming soon. Yeah, so that was in October. Wow, that one was a long time ago or so. So this is done, and the other thing so that we're done for. Let me check. KV and Wooshy was the yearly plan, but now I'm thinking, am I going to talk about this here, or am I going to? Maybe I'm going to make the English. Maybe I'm going to make a separate video for this, because I'm being like usually complaint people have about the apps is the soup system. And if I start talking about this now, I think I'm gonna late for cooking. So maybe it makes sense to have this in a separate video, because there's a lot of thinking behind. Like, why is it a cheap soup rather than a one-time purchase? So yeah, that was what I wanted to finish before spending time in the hall, seeing what I want to add and if it's feasible and if the UX is better, etc., etc. Yeah, so Teams, bar account, Teams. That's like a fix for the licenses, Yearly Sub and Notion. Okay, so what I want to do about the 3 apps, there's gonna be things that are going to be developed in kind of features should come in all apps, but probably developed differently, which is the custom remap, key mapping. So like people can choose what keys they want to use to do whatever the apps are doing. Let me think. I'm doing this live. I'm thinking out loud. Basically, those videos are like mostly selfishly useful for me to clarify what I think, what I want to do, to write those things down and to crystallize them in my brain so that I can keep going and focus on the next thing. If you want to tag along, this is really cool, but yeah, mostly it's done selfishly for me, and it's like really bad marketing, but it is still marketing somehow. I really hate this part, and like I'm in the part of having to try to get people to notice the app. Like I really don't care about this. I care about engineering something, like doing products that are fun to do, fun to use, useful and meaningful, and the rest I don't want to care. I should, but I don't want to, and then I also definitely don't want to hire. I want it to be my voice. I don't want to get like people taking over Twitter accounts and stuff, like promoting and not knowing the technicalities behind how to answer. Like, I want to answer truthfully to people who contact me. I don't want to, of course I want to help them, but the point is not just to make them feel better, it's to give them an answer that's useful. So and because of the nature of the apps, usually the users are like quite like they have a technical background, so they're I guess they care, I hope they care more about what's happening than just being, if it's not like they're frustrated with the app and then I tell them something nice and then they feel better and they're okay. That's not the case. So I want to keep doing all those stuff myself. It's just the marketing. The only marketing I would have, like I did before, is the same thing. Like while I was developing the features, I was excited about showing them off. So like to see, like to show it to people. So the few videos that I had before with the music, which is like music that I do listen at the moment. Like I wouldn't really choose the music for the video. I would just like, that would be the album that I would be listening during those days. And so it was I never felt that I had to do those things. So it's the same with those videos. They're like completely unedited. I'm listening current music, talking my head out, my thoughts out, and then we see maybe it's useful, maybe it's not, maybe that would prevent people to like the apps. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It helps me. So yes, I think the most for me personally. So some definitely some features are going to be for customers, like the key mapping. I don't need the key mapping myself because I can develop the app, like putting the keys I want to use. So I don't need the key mapping. But I think the most important feature or change that I want to do for myself is this. So if you go, for example, control center here, as soon as you open Wooshy, it disappears. So, and the reason for this is because, as you can see on the top left of the screen, Wooshy steals the focus, like it takes over, right? So like for you to type here. So so I need to change this. I need to do like exactly like what you're seeing now with KV, which is not steal the focus, but that means that when you do that in Wooshy, like, okay, we get the input. All the input stuff is handled by macOS. I don't have to take care of the caret. I don't have to take care of like if I press delete, it deletes this. If I press Alt delete, it deletes the last word and all those stuff. But here it's not the case. For example, the space I have to, like you see, it shows the space. Delete, I have to implement this myself. And here you can't do currently at least, you can't do a Alt delete, or you can't do a command delete. And you're never going to be able to do this because in this case, that matches the behavior of Vim. But if I do this system for Wooshy, that means that I will have to rewrite the whole, basically I have to rewrite the whole key event system. And this is going to, so that's what I was saying earlier, that one thing is, okay, what I want to do is this doable? The second thing is, so in this case, it is doable. The second thing is going to be, is the UX going to be good enough? Or is it going to be better, or at least good enough so that we can switch to that solution? Because there's a lot of technical reasons to take in consideration behind that. I know because I've dealt with them in kind of Vim. But if you don't, if you haven't went through that, you may not know like how macOS is gonna behave, or so, or like the bugs there are. So for example, in the case of so when you do this currently, so Wooshy has full control of this. Okay. When you use kind of Vim like this, let's say it's a level below, so it's less contained. You can access everything here. With Wooshy, Wooshy is only accessing this part, this text that belongs to Wooshy. But here we access any kind of part, and for this we have to use it's like a wiretap. We're putting places in the event tab system to catch. So imagine like you have like a Super Mario Bros. Pipeline going down, And so Mario is going down the pipeline, and then there's different places in this pipeline where you can make a hole and you can catch Mario, and you can decide if you want to steal Mario or if you want to replace Mario with Luigi and push. So you take Mario and you replace it by Luigi that you push back down the pipeline for other tools or the OS later to use. And basically you have like 6 places where you can do this in the pipeline. And one issue is there's bugs in some of those places. So depending on what you want to steal, because you can steal key, you can steal mouse click, you can steal mouse movements, you can steal a whole bunch of stuff. So depending on what you steal, there's some bugs in some places. So there are some places that you cannot tap. And another thing is, if you have like, there's only 6 places. So imagine, so KV is going to use one of these places, and depending on whether you want KV to catch first or Wooshy to catch first, you're going to have to place those taps on different places, like one in front of the other. If you place them at the same place, the first one who's going to catch it is, I think, is the first app that it started. So it's like really, it's kind of random. You restart your computer, depending on which one starts first is going to be the one that is going to catch the keys or like the events first. So this is definitely going to bring a lot of problems. And another thing is, like, you want probably, at least in my case, I want to support external applications that are usually used with Wooshy and kind of him, like for example Hammer Spoon. Carabiner Element is using like a virtual keyboard driver that is even lower level. So the keyboard driver is, if you take the analogy of Mario Bros in the pipeline, is the one who sends Mario to the pipeline, like Carabiner Element. So Carabiner is always going to work well with KV and Wooshy, but Hammer Spoon is using a tap in the same way. So I need to add my taps after Hammer Spoon. So all of this to say that what I want to do, so like this system that I want to do with Wooshy, which is not stealing the focus, it's going to require a whole rewrite of how I handle the keys. And I'm gonna have to do some gymnastics with Hammer Spoon and KV and the bugs in macOS. So I'm not sure if this is really doable. I know this is doable as an app by itself. How it's gonna work with KV and Hammer Spoon, I don't know. And even after that, I need to see if the UX is better. I think it's gonna be very useful to do this, because there's like after that you will be able to use Wooshy to click anywhere on those things, and macOS has more and more of those kind of pop-up that disappear when you call like another app. So like you will have, for example, like same Alfred is taking over. So yeah, that's something I really want to. This is like kind of important, at least for me, for like a usability. And once this is done, that would be like at least in this era, that would be the final step. This is going to be a big upgrade, and there is no upgrade over this in terms of like key events, and so yeah. No. I need some water. Yes, and that's going to be so we're gonna have the same thing with Scrolla. So Scrolla, but the control center, that probably makes no sense, or we can't even. Okay, but for example, I use a lot these. Is it AXUI element? I use a lot this thing dash, and luckily I use dash all the time, and I use Scrolla all the time, and luckily there is this option, dismiss main window, and yeah, so this is how I usually use dash, which is for example, I'm on Xcode. What is this here? So for example, you're on here. I want to check like, okay, CG window, list copy, okay, and then I can go back to Xcode and do my stuff. But if I use this and I use Scrolla, yep, same thing. It makes the app disappears. So luckily in Dash we have this option that we can remove, so we can make Dash stick. But in some apps it's not the case. So the same thing, Scrolla makes the below, it's still the focus and makes the below app disappear. So I may want to do the same thing as I'm gonna do with Wooshy, which is change the whole event tab system. So it's gonna make things even tougher, because there's at least 4 apps, my 3 apps plus Hammerspoon, that have to use those 6 event tabs. I don't control the event tab, like the position for Hammerspoon, and there's bugs or so that makes me like gonna have to make me avoid some tabs like of those macOS bugs. So I'm not sure yet. Independently, those things are feasible, but making them work together, it's, I don't know, I need to try. So that would be the biggest change for me. I mean, for me as a user, the biggest change that I want to do, and that's gonna be mostly, yeah, the main priority is gonna be for Wooshy. Something else I want to do with Scrolla. Let me. I mean, I kind of remember all of them because they're important. But so Scrolla, I think where do I have Slack? No. Where can I see it then? Oh, actually, probably GitHub, yeah. So, yeah, okay, so that would be a good example. So what the Scrolla does is detect places where you can scroll. So, let's say I'm in Wooshy here. What about if I open even more? Yeah, because I wanted to have different scroll areas. So native app, you open Scrolla, you activate Scrolla, and it detects like there's 3 places where you can scroll, right? And then when you switch from one to the other, it's gonna put you in the middle of those extra is there? Sorry, okay. But there's all those Electron apps, they like do a shit job at exposing their information, and it's the same for the web. So like, first of all, here you're gonna have scroll area here, and then you have one here, and that's it. Okay, but there's already 2. So when you open Scrolla here, what it does is it puts you in the middle, so you can scroll this part, but you can't scroll the part on the left. What you can do is, which you really don't want to do, is move the mouse here and then scroll with the keys. So what I want to do is add keys to manually move the cursor around. And what I'm thinking, at least at first, before adding the feature of like remapping keys, is use numbers. So like from 1 to 9, and if you press 1, it would like, so that would divide the area in 9 parts, and if you press 1, it goes. So I want to go there's 2 ways, or it goes in the middle of, so 1 would be around here, 2 around here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And maybe if you like press 1, it goes here, and then you press 1 again quick enough, it goes in the middle of the middle, and then you could move the cursor. But I don't know, I kind of like the idea, but maybe because it makes sense to me, but also most of the manual scroll areas would be or on the right or on the left. So maybe just pressing 1 and putting the cursor, rather than putting exactly in the middle of like a grid divided in 9 boxes, maybe I can just put it like closer to make sure we reach the scroll area. So basically you open Scrolla, it goes here, and you press 1 up, it goes here, and 2 maybe here, and 3 maybe here, and like 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3. So I need to think about exactly if I make things. Probably at the end I will make things more straightforward, in the sense that Scrolla would guess. You press 1 and Scrolla guess where you want to go, and you go to a place that has 90% of the time would have this is where the scroll area would be. So that would be, and I think I want to actually add this before remapping keys, because that can be already quite useful. I think that can be already quite useful for people without yeah, maybe the electron was this one. Yeah. So maybe I do this before adding, because adding custom remap is gonna be big work. So I'm gonna put this first. Okay, this is kind of like things I want to see. The beep, yeah, those are like small things that I'm not gonna talk about this. Stealing the focus, it's going to, that's what I was talking before, like that it doesn't make the other app disappear under. Actually, how do that work with this? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Okay, add this, that's gonna be on top. It's like an app, to support an app. Allow possibility to choose once on screen to, so that's going to be the custom remapping. So don't try to no. The Scrolla, what about other focus? Would be nice to yeah, stop. So that would be, I will do that first. Stop. I want to put this first because I'm gonna work on it on Wooshy, so I can check at the same time. Scroll, and this is like less important stuff that I will, maybe it's like more improvements that they're not new features. So that would be for Scrolla. I kind of want to put this on top for now, because that should not take a long time to do, and that's going to be useful already. Wooshy. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of things. So like I said earlier, the that thing of the control center or whatever pop up that I want to do. Then there's this part. I want to see if this is possible to do. Is it possible? Yeah, this is gonna go together. So that's gonna be another C above, and here so C above. So the idea is so I've already removed the URL. So like you don't have, because if you type most of the time if you type something from the, like in Safari at least, behind this there's the whole page. So if I type something like look, it's going to the first target is going to be here. So I've removed this. I don't want this, but I'm thinking maybe removing the whole URL. So like you could have an option that makes you focus only on the web content, because most of what's in the title bar is like is reachable through other means. Like I have like a comment palette from Alfred, so I can go to the share. I can go to like new, definitely. Like I don't want to have to, yeah, exactly. I don't care about the new from the page here. I don't care about the back from here, because I can just press some keys. I think I can even get the download if there's download happening. So I want to add an option for like, and this would be done for all browsers to just focus on the web content and ignore URL bar and the title bar. I don't know if it's fully doable though, and that would be custom for each browser, so that's going to be some work also, and it's going to break from time to time when they make updates and stuff, but it may be worth doing. I'll see. Yeah, okay, that's, you may not need to.
Dan, I need you now. Okay, Mike, you can come.
Yeah, there's in case you don't know, there's a workflow for where am I gonna see? Gallery, Wooshy. There's a workflow for Alfred from Wooshy, which is Wooshy window to the foreground. So because Wooshy is gonna show you, okay, wait, Wooshy, the search. Okay, this app menu. So this is the scope, right? This is where you can. So now it's going to show also the top left, and we can also do the duck. So mostly you always gonna want to have to target the front window, but sometimes macOS doesn't show, like it shows the windows but it doesn't put it like in the front, so you have to click on it to be able to, and like you can't do Alt tab or stuff like the, or Command tab, or you have to click on it to be able to target it with Wooshy, which is shit. So what this workflow does is like you can bring any window that is on your current space on top. So sometimes you would have a pop-up that you really want to close this and you don't have access to this, you do that, boom, and then you can activate the window. So you can always reach any window and target them with Wooshy. And I want to maybe add, so another, maybe traffic, dog too, yes. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, I may want to do one that goes like a bit like this one, but so this one it goes through all the menu items for the app, right? You want to do add bookmark, so it goes through. But maybe I want to do one that goes also through those ones. So I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'm gonna think. Maybe I'm gonna create like some free open source workflow extension for this for Alfred. This also, I really want to check this. Maybe I'm even gonna check this before. So currently you can already copy paste. So let's say you go on issue here. If you want to copy issue, you can copy two things. You can copy the text, or you can copy the more like the fundamental thing of the elements. So in this case, the fundamental thing would be URL. So I think so. If I copy, no, it's not a URL. What about new issue? It's another. So is there a URL for? Oops. No. So I need a link. Okay. So if I or like okay below git community. Hello, where's it? Yeah, here. So if I press Command C, it's gonna copy. I think the no. Oh. I kind of forgot my own. Yeah. Okay. So. Why didn't think? Extra. Allow the code. Will copy the text. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. While editing, will copy the relevant metadata. So if you're on a link, GitHub community guidelines. So if you're on the link, Command C is going to copy the text. Control Command C or Shift Command C or whatever. If you add another modifier, is going to copy the link instead. But what FitLife? That was funny. Yes. So what I want to do is kind of doing the same, but with moving. Like how do you call this? I forgot, man. Drag and drop. So maybe you're in. No item. So let's say, yeah, but probably in that case I could copy Wooshy. It's more like for apps, I guess. Like I want to be able to say like, okay, you take this and move it like on the desktop. So I'm not sure. I'm sure it's possible because some apps do drag and drop with the keyboard, but I don't know exactly. Like, could I do a Shift Command C, and then you go desktop and you do like a Shift Command V maybe, and then it would copy the app on the. There's some things to dig into here. I want to be able to let people drag and drop through the keyboard. I think that would be a nice addition to Wooshy. Some speed enhancement. Yeah. I forgot if I have. Do I have a version here that I already have something that is testing the speed? Do I bore you with that now? Let me think. Yeah, this one it does not. I think we can add something quite quick with the search engine. Yes. So if search engine. So if let's say we and then only after print execution time, and return all elements. So I think that should give us an idea. Okay, that's obviously wrong. Why? Execution time equal time, time intervals and time. Thank you. Okay, so this is so that would be in milliseconds. So like 100 milliseconds. So currently it's already very fast because this is the stuff that we grab. Do I bore you with this? Yeah. Oh no, that's gonna be, how long is it already? I don't know. 20 minutes. Well, basically there's 4 things that, there's actually more, 5 things that Wooshy takes. The app menu here, element, the app menu, yeah. The status bar here, the dock, the notifications, and then the frontmost app. And this is done asynchronously, which means like, let's say this takes 2 seconds, and this takes 2 seconds, and this takes 2 seconds, and notification takes 2 seconds, and the front app takes 2 seconds. If you do sequentially, you get the result once you add all 2 seconds, so that would take 10 seconds. But if you do asynchronously, it takes the time that it takes from the longest. So if this is like, or let's say this is 1 second, 1, 1, 1, and the frontmost app takes 2 seconds. So to get everything asynchronously, it would take 2 seconds. But now when we get the elements, when I get the elements of the front app, this is not done asynchronously. This is done sequentially, which means first I check the window, then for the window I check every children, then for each children I check the children one by one, and going back. This is like recursively going down, and when there is no more children we go back up and blah blah. And so the issue is, I mean, there might be a way. Imagine that the frontmost window here has 5 children, and each children has a lot more children. We could, rather than doing things sequentially, we could do the 5 children asynchronously. So it goes down, you have like 5 workers, 5 threads that go down each of the children, that branch, and do that asynchronously. So that would make things somehow faster. Not, I don't know how, like, the problem is it's going to depend faster, like how much. It's going to depend on the depth of the tree and all those things. So I need to try to see if it's worth making the code more complicated, because currently it's a recursive function that does this work. And if I make this function asynchronous, then every search for every children is asynchronous. So that makes it at the end sequential, because that means at every step we're gonna have to wait for at every step you're gonna have to wait for the result in order to go like a level deeper or to go back up. So basically, if you do that for every children to every children, that's the same result that if you didn't make it asynchronous. So probably you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm making sense to myself, which is the point of the whole bullshit. So probably what I need to do, I don't think at the end that's gonna be worth it, but I need to do it in order, because I'm going to have to I'm going to have to duplicate the function. You can't have a function that works sometimes asynchronously and sometimes not. So I'm going to have to duplicate the function, make one version asynchronous, one synchronous, and then I'm gonna need some sort of arbitrary threshold. Maybe once you reach a point that have 4 children, only in that case you go down the 4 children asynchronously, but if they're less than 4, then you do it synchronously. And at the end I'm sure I will see a little bit of improvement, but I'm not sure how much. If it's like, for example, this is like taking what, 63 milliseconds. If you gain 10% and it goes to 0.5, 0.50, like 50 milliseconds, you're never gonna feel the difference. So it's gonna make the code more complicated and duplicated and having to maintain it. And if you don't see the result, if you see some improvement in very few cases, which I guess that's what's gonna happen, then it's not going to be worth keeping it. But I still need to try to see. So it's not always worth to keep what you do, but it's always worth trying and see if it does improve or not, and get a balance between complicated and more code means more potential bugs and more stuff to maintain, and if it doesn't bring much value, then it's not worth it at all. So that would be for Wooshy. I think that's all we have. The rest is not very important. I mean, for you, this is stuff I want to check some tweaks for myself. So Scrolla, Wooshy, and the other thing, kind of there's going to be 2 things. One thing that is going to, one feature is going to be, I want to do it for the 3 apps, but it's going to be it's going to have to be done differently. So it's like the key remapping. So what I want to do is for Scrolla and Wooshy, there's going to be a simple way. I'm not sure. I've been thinking about like a custom file that you can edit and you can add whatever. So like because for Scrolla and Wooshy, the functions are quite straightforward. So for example, Scrolla, or you go down a little bit, or you go up a little bit, or you go like slowly, or you go fast, or you go to the bottom or the top, or you can go also left and right. If you, let's say, okay, there's no places here, but in some, when you have like a big stuff where you need to scroll left or right, you can do it with Scrolla. So I could do something. I'm thinking like you have a file that is like a scroll to the top, and then you would have I'm not sure, probably a YML file, I'm not sure yet, and then you would have like you can have U, or you can have G, or you can have GG, or you can have Command R, and then scroll to the bottom, but okay, actually like G would be here, Shift P, like a file a file like this that would allow you to remap the keys to what you want, and it would be the same for Wooshy. Like move to last target. Because yeah, whoosh, like you can go to the last. Okay, maybe you can go to the last. You can go to the top. Okay, maybe something I wait. Yeah, you can go to the last, to the top. You can go to the one in the middle, which in that case would be kind of similar. Links. Yeah, last one, top one. You can go to the middle one. For kind of him, it's gonna be much harder because I'm not sure, and I've started asking people. I'm not sure what people want. I'm myself customize very seldomly, especially stuff like Vim, because when I'm gonna connect to a server, probably like most of the time they're not gonna have my configurations. So I want to make sure that I stay like I use the default as much as I can, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure that people are not gonna want just like keys. Like, okay, when you press A, let's say when you press A, it becomes a B, or it becomes a B, or like stuff like this. But or do people want like a full remap like this? CIW is changed to CHH, or like end of line. Because kind of Vim is really complicated. And the reason is that I don't own the buffer. So there's a lot of magic to be done. Like if you're like here and you want to go to the end or the beginning of the line, it's very different from if you're here, right? It's calculation, everything. Now this is one thing. Now if you copy, it's different. Like here you can copy and paste, right? Now you can do that also here, but it uses a completely different system. So there's a lot of depending on what does the app support, depending on in which family you put the app, blah blah blah. It's a lot of work that you can't really. I can't really. Okay, I'm gonna need one more glass of whiskey. You can't really. It's gonna be hard to give customization to people. There are some apps where you need to do stuff more slowly because they're some Electron apps that are too slow to catch up with the keys that you're sending. I mean, it's quite nightmarish. So I really don't know for KV how I'm gonna do, and that's also going to be a little bit linked to the next feature I want to add, which is like plugins. But again, so regarding Wooshy and Scrolla, I'm pretty confident about the things I want to add, and it's just going to be like if it does feel better in terms of UX, but with KV, I'm not really sure. Like I'm really at the very first steps, and because the plugins. So my current thinking is, well, I don't want to. I'm pretty sure that people will not want to develop plugins just for KV with their own syntax. So like nobody's gonna care about this. There's like a lot of projects out there that are way more important and way more widespread. So that would make no sense for someone to come up with a new system. So the other option would be to take plugins that exist for other I don't know, like how you call it, software or tools or framework. Also, like maybe NeoVim plugins or like Vim plugins, some stuff in Lua. But that, so what I would have to do is build a bridge between KV's engine and those plugins. But I kind of feel already that this is going to be one, very complicated, and second, again, because of the difference between, like, first of all, NeoVim and KV is, again, that KV doesn't have its own buffer. I'm using other apps buffers, and so I have basically very little control, and I have to handle a whole bunch of different apps and different moves and different ways to copy paste at a different rate because some apps are too slow and blah blah blah. So I think the whole plugin system is going to it's going to be a massive headache that I'm not sure. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to enjoy it. What I'm thinking would be much better, at least for me, in terms of development and enjoyment, would be to have to have a new plugin tab with a list of predefined plugins that I have developed in the same way I develop the moves. So like Vim has so many moves that not all of them are in KV. I've developed the ones that I use, and I've developed the ones that people requested, like, hey, this one is not working. Okay, let me do it. And I'm thinking about doing the same for plugins, like checking out what are the most important ones, the most popular ones, most used ones, and develop them in KV myself. And then you can just switch them on or off in the settings. And why switch them? Why being able to toggle them? Because sometimes, like surround, for example, is going to steal the S key, and so at least that would be as long as I don't have like custom keys. I think it's worth giving the choice to toggle them on or off. And yeah, that means I will have to. I mean, it fits much better in my own lifestyle, which is I go coffee, explore, then I go swim or hike, and then I think about how to do the thing, and then at night I implement. So that, because I would have to study, day after day, like, okay, what are the most popular thing, and then reaching out to people, ask them if they do really, like, current customers, current subscribers, ask them if do they use plugins, have they heard about those plugins, do they use some in NeoVim or something, do they use custom keys, custom remaps for those, and blah, blah, blah. And then after that, start developing them like I developed the normal moves. So that sounds that sounds much more exciting to me. But that gives less freedom to you. Like, a user wouldn't be able to create their own plugins. But I'm also like one of the advantage, I guess, I think, of like the Vim and Wooshy and Scrolla. I mean, Vim doesn't have competitor, doesn't have competitors. So like maybe it's less of an advantage. But for Wooshy and Scrolla is that I'm very quick and very reachable. So when people ask stuff, especially like new apps to be supported and stuff, I'm on them like very quickly. So plugins would be the same. So I think that's about it. Do I have next? Yeah, there's some other thing. I'm reviewing like I now I didn't check before this, but like no, what did I just see just now? There's some URL bar. I don't know. There was something about the trial that people were saying like if you install it for the first time in the morning, you can't use it. So maybe it would be better to have like a 14 days or something. There are some things I could do better in this area for sure. I'm just kind of. It's not a priority. That's the problem. But it's true that. Or should I change like Wooshy? Sometimes it bothers you. Yeah, and now I talked about it, but I didn't show. So now there's the yearly subscribe, and you can choose between yearly or monthly. I'll do another video to talk more about this. Why I did this? Because for me, it didn't make much sense. I like to, as a user myself, I like to be able to walk away as soon as I find a better app. So I like very short subscriptions. But yeah, people requested the yearly sub, and they've already bought some. So, so yeah, there's more stuff. I think I should review this, and I will do it. But I think it's already quite a long video. So, and I've been talking more than I should have. So maybe some smaller stuff. Mostly is kind of is going to be custom remapping and plugins. Scrolla is going to be those manual positioning the cursor and key mapping, custom key mapping. Yeah, those things are going to be tough now. Double JK and Wooshy. At least the first thing is going to be not stealing the focus. Now, the first thing is going to be to try to make it faster, because I will know very quickly if this is worth or not. Then where's the not stealing the there's some of the okay, regex thing. Okay, did I lose the well, I thought I had it here to stop stealing the children's. Okay. So that's that's gonna be okay, answer right. Then that's gonna be this. Then I kind of want to put this first, and then the drag and drop. Okay, that's gonna be C above. That could be also check with the faster. So I think the next thing I'm gonna work on is this, like real work, not adding. I'm gonna do this, but it's not real work. That's gonna be to split this. That's gonna be that's going to be the next Scrolla release, and that's gonna be the first. I'm gonna put this on top. Then I'll work in Wooshy. KV is gonna my knowledge about KV's custom remapping is gonna come from doing it first for Scrolla and Wooshy. So yeah, that seems, and try making Wooshy faster. So I think this is probably gonna take a week. This to test for this, and that's going to take maybe also a week. This maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And then a bit more thinking, and then the rest of like stop stealing focus and custom key mapping. This I'm expecting like weeks to months of experimentation, like development and experimentation and using them. And then after, if it works, another weeks, few weeks or months of proper coding and testing. So a few exciting half a year or even years coming. Well, that was a long one. Thank you if you're listening. That would be kind of crazy, but I had some fun for sure. And oh, that's the book. Yeah, good book if you want to Charisma Myth. You should have a look. Make another. So that's gonna go in. Oh no, that's gonna go in where? Actually, no, that's gonna stay here for now. Yeah, that's been very useful. Now it's clear what I need to work on first, and I'm gonna do that after a break and some cooking. So bye. Thank you. Bye.